Hey guys, how are you doing? Frazzled. Hello. Hi Jeffrey. Hey Wondering. I hope everybody's doing okay. Hope your mom's all right. Doing better, rather. Good to see you guys. I know it's a really odd time for me to be live right now. Looks like notifications did go out. That's good. Uh, How are we doing? Oh, okay. Mr. Snotty just got his, so there we have that. So this is actually really kind of hard to listen to. It actually is hard, and it's appalling, quite frankly. I don't know. Have you guys watched this yet? Colby talks to his mother in jail. It's appalling what she says. I did not expect that. Never saw it coming, actually. You didn't? Oh, it's unbelievable. She's unbelievable. And I want to be very, yeah, it's really sad for him. It's so heartbreaking. And I almost didn't cover it, but we have covered every bit of this case, you know? Oh, no, I think you will be shocked, Frazzled. I think you will be. I do think so. Honestly, when I heard it, I was like, wait a second. Did she literally just say this? I was taken way aback. I didn't think she could shock me either, but she did. And it's not true. I mean, evidence shows it's not true what she says, but really sad. Hey, sis. Yeah, it's so sad. And I hope everybody checks out Colby's channel. It seems like he says, and it kind of appears that he's doing a lot better. This is really hard, but this is also going to be one of those things that he goes back and forth with, right? Even when he feels like he's better, like he's going to, this has got to be so hard to live with. I just feel horrible for him. And he breaks my heart. I just want to hug him. Let me see. So we'll start this. I know we don't like the music. I have it really low, but I just don't want to get in trouble. Okay, let me see. I've got it on here. I'll just get it started.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, are you cutting out?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm trying to keep it going.
Yeah, no, it's you sound good to me. I don't know if you can hear me very well.
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good. But
So,
yeah,
I just have all the questions and everything, but how are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm better now, if I'm being honest with you.
Isn't it sad, sis? But weren't you surprised actually what she said? I mean, I didn't see that coming. And like Frazzled, I didn't think she could surprise me, but I was like, wait, what? Yeah. It's almost like that's all you can, you're kind of left at the end. That's all you can think about then. I don't know. I'll shut up. Sorry.
It's taken a long process to work through all this stuff. It's been a lot of years, but I've I've definitely found my strength. So I think that's where I'm at right now. But
well, I know you've got to be busy with kids and everything, so that your life moves fast when you have little kids and you're doing your life. So, I didn't want any of this for you, as you know.
Yeah.
You told me that Tylee had come to you in a dream.
Right.
And you never told me what she said or what her message was to you.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I always wanted to ask you privately, right? Like me and you, like, what did she say?
I don't remember. If I'm being honest with you, I don't really know if I believe in the visiting of ancestors anymore. I don't really, like, people who are in your family. I don't think that's something that I've ever seen biblically where, like, you really get visitors from your family on behalf of Christ. I've dreamed a lot of things, if that's what you're asking. I've dreamed a lot of things about you and
Right, sis. That's just it. I mean, imagine that's your mother. Right. It does have to be so hard. I really hope that everybody keeps him in your prayers all the time. He needs all the strength. Like I said, this doesn't ever get easier. It can't. Especially what she tells him here.
And I dreamed a lot of things about my family, but I've never fully dreamed. I can't remember exactly what you're referring to, if that's what you're asking me.
Okay, yeah, but you called me, and so you knew something wasn't right, and you were questioning me, and you were asking, but this is before you knew anything, and you had a dream with Tylee. I'm not saying she actually visited you, but you had some kind of dream that had upset you. And I wondered, because she had passed away, if she had actually visited you and told you something, because she visited me and told me plenty of things, and the very first thing she told me was, I'm sorry, Mom, for being such a brat. That's the first thing that she told me.
Okay, can you even believe that right there? That's nothing, but sorry for being such a brat. Are you kidding? Wow. This one takes no responsibility for a damn thing she does. Unbelievable.
And it was so dialing, and it was so her. So I just wondered if she had said something to you that you recalled. And that was such a long time ago. I just always have wondered, because I never asked you at the time, what your dream was. You just had told me that you had a dream and that she had come to you. So I wondered.
Yeah, I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was something that... And I totally appreciate what you believe or don't believe or whatever. You know what I believe, so it's not a big secret.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you know from when you knew me, not what you know from what police have told you or other people have told you, but what you actually know from me personally, which that's the only other thing I wanted to ask you about, because you remember our drive to Reno, just me and you, right?
Mm-hmm. And I remember you telling me some really out there stuff. Just told me that there's multiple lives, and I told you that's not true, and I really don't believe in that at all. I don't think anybody's ever lived multiple probations. I don't think anybody's ever come back besides Jesus himself. I don't think that's not something that we do. That's reincarnation. That's not something that Jesus ever mentioned in the Bible ever. There's nobody who comes back and lives in flesh and is born again and has a whole nother different life and experience. So I truly knew when you told me that didn't make any sense to me, and it didn't sit right with my spirit. But I trusted you as my mom. I tried to give you the room to share with what you thought and felt. But as years went by, I had to do my own research on the things. And I remember thinking, when you did that and said that, I remember thinking, that's just not right in my spirit. And everybody's entitled to believe what they want, but I'm telling you, for me personally, that in no way, shape, or form do I believe that anybody's ever lived a different life. I think once you're gone, you go to heaven or wherever the Lord puts you, and that is my true conviction to myself. I don't believe in anything else.
Well, sometimes look at his face. Just like the brat part, right? Like.
I honor and respect that. And just like you said, I honor and respect what everyone else believes. They can believe whatever they want to believe, right? Like,
but don't you think that's dangerous to believe anything and just kind of have your own basis of belief rather than something that's based in truth and what the Bible says?
Okay, so I agree with you 100%. And there's a purpose for what the Bible does, and there's a purpose for what it says, and it says all the right things. And most people who ever come to this earth only come one time, and that's why the Bible is for everyone. It's not, this is higher knowledge that people who need to know it can know it, and people that don't need to know it don't need to know it. So it's not widespread. It comes directly from Jesus to me. It doesn't come from any other source. It comes from Jesus Christ to me. And so that.
Let's go back to what you said. I feel like, honestly, that there's a lot to talk about here.
I think it appears that they kept getting cut off, or, you know, obviously she's calling from jail. So that's what it kind of seems like.
Can you go over, you said Tylee's been visiting you. So I want to, there's a lot of things I want to go through, but you said Tylee visited you and spoke to you. And JJ, I heard this in your statement that you made. I wanted to know, you know, what you mean by that. And, you know, one of the reasons I wanted to talk, I think when we talked about Legion, let's go back to what we were talking about. So in the Bible, there's that moment, I think it's in John 5, where Jesus casts out the demons and he gets rid of them, and then the man is back to normal. You said that there was a reference to the chosen, and I wanted to hear what you said because it cut out. So what do you believe in when it comes to the zombie idea? Because that's where you were at. That's what you were telling me.
Yes, I would love to address this because I have never said the word my personal. This has gone out of control, Ilya.
Yeah, Boots. He's interviewing his mom in jail. Yeah, this is Colby, Ryan, her son. Wait till you hear what she says. And the person she compares herself to in the Bible. Wow. I mean, yeah, it's really mind-blowing, honestly. I didn't see it coming at all. But yeah, it's really sad.
Whoever made up this whole zombie thing and escalated what my basic belief was, okay? I, Lori, have gone through my whole entire discovery, and there's not one thing. Do you know if you do a search and you do the word zombie in the search in my discovery, do you know the only thing that comes up is when JJ was ordering those little zombie babies from Minecraft. That's the only thing that comes up in all of my 19 years of my iCloud. I was not saying that. That is not something I said. That is not something so yes, can evil spirits visit humans like it did in John 5? Yes, I believe that. Do I believe I have the power to cast them out? Yeah, I do. The same way he cast them out in episode 5 of season 2 of The Chosen.
Okay.
So yes, those are my
You there?
Sorry, the Wi-Fi here is so terrible. It just keeps cutting out.
Sorry. Yeah, we can just go through it. So you were saying that you never said the word zombie. That was never used by you.
Never.
Okay. So I have a lot to ask you, honestly, but I wanted to give you the floor to really say your piece. And since we're cutting out so much, maybe it's just a good time. You told me one day you'd want to say it in our last phone call. You said that you wanted to tell me what has happened. So I'm going to just give you the floor real quick. If you want to say your piece, and maybe I'll just have follow-up questions after that. But I want to go ahead, and I think you know what I'm referring to is what really happened with my brother and my sister and this whole thing. And I know that we could talk about my dad, but I'm assuming that that's because of your case is a little not for right now. We can always follow up on that at some point because I do have a lot of questions about it all. But I'm going to try to just keep it strictly to my brother and my sister. So I just want to give you the floor real quick, and I think we'll just kind of go from there.
Well, it's obviously different than what everyone else thinks, and I don't know that if you knew the truth of what really actually happened, if you would want it to be in public forum. Colby. I mean, talk to you personally. I know that you are the only person on this planet, to me, who loved Kylie and JJ as much as I do. The only person. So in all of my 4 years or 5 years of going through this, because it's been 5 years now, I have asked every one of my attorneys, how can you help me to talk to Colby in a way that I can let him know the truth of what happened, because he's the only person on this planet, not my mom, not my sister, not anybody else. Colby is the only person on this planet who loved JJ and Tylee like I did. He was the only person that truly cared. And in my opinion, he is the only person who deserves to know what really happened. So can you help me find a way where I can talk to Colby privately and tell him, because this is a horrible situation and I want to be able to talk to you, but I don't know that after you know what actually happened, if you would want that to be public.
Okay. Well, basically, you said no one was murdered. That was your biggest statement. You said not one single person was murdered. But you said there were suicides and deaths, accidental deaths, and you said that there was drug overdoses, that no one was murdered. So that's what I'm going to ask you then. If you were willing to say it in your statement, then I'm asking you to say it to me. If you don't want to go.
Right, Mama, I know, me too. Can you even believe the goal of her? I really can't. It is so sad.
Into detail, that's your decision, but that's what I'm asking you today.
Well, what I can tell you is that I wrote out what happened with those 38 pages, and that's what I was telling my attorneys. I need this to get to Colby. I don't care who else it has to go through, but I don't think it's fair to Colby to not have this information, since he is the only person I feel like was as close to that cared about JJ and Tylee like I did. Now, you are the only person, Colby, in the entire world that I felt like I said, I want to talk to Colby and tell him because he deserves to know. I don't care what anybody else knows. And I frankly don't care what anybody else thinks. It's not their children. They're my children, and they're your brother and sister. And we were the family, and we were the ones doing everything for them. And when you took care of JJ, when Tylee was in the hospital that time before we had to move to Hawaii, and you sat there with him as a 2-year-old before medication, before we knew he had autism, and he would just run.
Look at his face. Oh my God. I'll say it again. You know, I really struggled whether to play this or not. And I don't mean any any disrespect to him at all. At all. He's always in my prayers. My heart breaks for him. And we've covered all of this case. So I just feel it is important. And I really do think, you know, I think that everybody here has such a big heart for Colby also. And I really do want you to check out his page and subscribe to him. He's really working hard to put together something that she made almost impossible to, you know? I mean, again, like I said, seems to be doing much better, but you're never okay. This is insanity. It really is.
On like 100 miles an hour. And I remember because when you picked us up at the airport, picked us up, and you were so mad at me when you picked me up with JJ, and you're like, what are you doing? And you're too old to be, you're grandma age, and you're too old to have this baby, and what are you doing? And he's going to have so many problems, and you were really mad. And JJ did with his own love, and you fell in love with JJ. You, Colby, did. And when you had to take care of him during that time, I think that bonded you the most to him. When you took care of him, and Tylee and I were in the hospital, and Charles was in Hawaii trying to set up the house, and we were trying to move out of that huge 5,000 square foot.
Yes, look at, and she talked about the chosen. Yes. Yep. That's right.
House, and we were just throwing everything in the dumpster because we couldn't move it. We didn't have time because we didn't expect Tylee to be with pancreatitis in the hospital, and I was in there with her screaming, and so you are the only person that deserves to know the truth. Also, I can't tell the story of what happened to Tylee and JJ without telling Tylee's life.
She does.
I don't necessarily want to tell that to the public, but you know it. You are the only person who lived it with me and her. You lived it with me. You went with me and her to therapy every week. You were the ones there when she was crying and screaming and throwing things in walls because they were forcing her to go to jail. You saw all of her moods. You knew how she had depression and anxiety attacks. And you and Kelsey were even coming over to mentor her during that time. You know, because you were there. And you were there with JJ. You were there with Tylee. And you know, and I didn't want to write it out like that. I didn't want to just say, oh, this is what happened. I wanted to talk to you and answer your questions so I can tell you everything that actually happened. And if you have a question of something, well, the police said this, and I have an answer for that. That is not what they weren't there and they don't know. So I wanted to talk to you so I could hear your questions and answer your questions because you are the only person besides me on this whole earth who really loved both of them the way that I did. And so you heard what happened and you heard that what I wrote.
They wouldn't give me the detail really, so that's why I'm asking, because that's what.
I'm happy. I would be happy to tell you personally and privately because I don't know if you want those details out in the public.
Well, you pretty much said it in the trial. So I guess I'm wondering why you said those things if you weren't willing to just share, if that's the truth, that you say it is.
Well, it is the truth, and it's exactly what happened. But
do you want me to say what I've seen personally?
Sure.
So it's gonna be heavy. So I hope you're ready for this. They found my little brother in a bag, tied up, buried, and then they found remnants of my sister. Remnants, not even a person anymore. Remnants of her.
Can you imagine why that is? Do you have any reason to think that would happen?
No.
So did you know Tylee's desire of wanting to be cremated?
That was your version of cremating her?
It wasn't mine.
Because that doesn't sound.
It wasn't mine. But did you know that she had that desire?
No.
Can you, okay. Wow. Can you even?
Well, so you don't know because you weren't there, but after Charles passed away, and Alex and I and Tylee were at our table in there at the house in Chandler, and we were going over Charles' wishes, and Charles had put all his stuff down saying he wanted to be cremated, and don't ever put me in a box or I'll come back and haunt you, because he was claustrophobic. He didn't like the idea of being in a box, and he had said all these funny things on his letter to me. And Tylee said to me and Alex at the time, she said, don't you put me in a box either. She's like, whenever I'm out of here, I want to be cremated. That was her big thing.
So why wasn't she cremated? Why didn't you cremate her?
Well, and you know what? She almost kind of has these little laughs in there, right? It is. She's way too okay with every bit of this. You know what? That's exactly right. Boots. Yep, Jeffrey, absolutely evil. Right, the way she's like, no, you didn't know she wanted to be cremated. She does, Frazzled. She does sound proud of herself. She does. It's unreal. Almost no words. Right, Mama, he is. He is. You can tell. Jeez.
If she wasn't murdered, why was she?
But she wasn't.
Okay, according to what you say, and you say you were there, I'm trying to give you the space without telling you what I think and feel. I'm trying to ask you the question because that's not cremation. I have my brother and sister's ashes. That's cremation. I have them.
Can you imagine coming in on that scene? Can you imagine as a mother, your father now? So imagine you come in and find two of your children deceased.
So they just died out of nowhere.
I didn't say that.
You come home or whatever, and both your kids are dead. And then what? You just never tell me what happened? Or you never tell anybody anything? I'm trying to understand you.
You can't, because you can't imagine what that is like. You can't even imagine, you know how much I love those kids. You know how much I put into them. You know how much I've done everything to protect them. You know how much I've done everything to get Tylee every kind of help, fought in every kind of court to keep her safe, fought in every kind of hospital so they wouldn't do a whole bunch of horrible stuff to her when she was sick all the time. You know what I did for them.
I know.
So you imagine walking in, finding them, and they had been gone for hours. There was nothing I can do, even though you just can't imagine. You can't imagine that scenario. It's you believe that you can't imagine that scenario. And when I came in, and I knew Tylee had been upset, and I knew that she was upset with me that weekend because she wouldn't stay at the house because Melanie didn't stay there. She hates Melanie Gibb, as you know. Everyone knows this. She hated her. And she couldn't stand her smell because she had the essential oils, and Tylee got sick of the essential oils in 6th grade because her teacher made her drink the essential oils in 6th grade to help with pancreatitis, if you remember all that. So she didn't want to stay there. So I asked her to babysit JJ, put him to bed that night, which is what she always has done, right? She was going to sit in bed. I was going to do my podcast with stupid Melanie and Dave, right? So JJ wouldn't interrupt it. And then I was picking him up in the morning to get him ready and take him to school.
Stupid Melanie and Dave. Yeah, I think they're stupid. I think the whole group of you are crazy, psychotic people. But isn't that, stupid Melanie, because Melanie testified against her, set her up? Yeah. Listen to her. Stupid Melanie. She does not even act like the gravity of what has happened. This is so wild.
And when I came in on that scene and they were gone, I thought Tylee did it to get back at me. I thought it was all my fault. I thought she was mad at me, and that's what had happened. And the reason why she visited me and why JJ visited me and came to me right after that is because to tell me that it wasn't my fault, because I was blaming myself 100%. 100%.
No, you weren't. That's the problem.
Why did I let her get off of her meds? Why did I not do something different? Why did I let Melanie get to stay here? Why did I do any of these things that would lead to this? How could it possibly have happened? Why and how? Why and how? I mean, you can't even imagine what that is like. No one on earth can imagine what that's like.
You're telling me that Tylee took JJ's life and then took her own life?
On accident.
And took her own life then? After? So who chopped and burned her? And who abducted JJ and put him in the ground? I'm asking you. You're saying what? So you told me.
Yes, can you believe that she's saying that? She's blaming Tylee for this. First of all, we already know from evidence Tylee was gone on the 8th or 9th of September. JJ, we know for sure, was still alive on the 23rd. Can you even believe this, though? And here she was blaming herself. JJ had to come back and tell her it wasn't her fault. Can you even believe this? Wow. I really didn't see this coming. Right. And duct tape on his face. Yes. On his mouth. Yes, Frazzled. Are you not shocked, though, Frazzled? I never thought she was going to say Tylee did this. I just didn't. Unreal.
Sorry, you're just cutting out. I can't hear what your question is.
So you're telling me Tylee took JJ's life, then took her own life, and then someone cremated her by dismembering her and burning her and throwing her in a pet cemetery, and then somebody bound JJ, put him in a trash bag, and threw him in the backyard. And that was it. That was the end of it.
What I'm saying is I wasn't aware what happened to them after I left that scene.
Okay, so you gave it to someone else. You gave the responsibility to someone else, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay.
I actually expected her to just blame Alex. That's what I thought was going to happen. That's what I've always thought. And I think that was the plan. I don't know where this, I mean, I didn't see this coming.
And then
I didn't. I just ran out. I just.
so you're saying someone else took care of the situation.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said
it's freaking out.
I'm saying that you're saying to me that someone else took care of it. That's it. I don't have to go into more detail there. Somebody else took care of these things. So you
Correct.
okay.
I'm telling you that their spirits were gone from their bodies at that time. They were gone. They were already in heaven. They were already gone.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So you're saying that they were gone, and why, if that's the case, then why wouldn't you just tell us? What was their secrecy for? Why didn't anybody know?
There's a lot of reasons. Colby and I've gone over that a million times, and I can tell you from the beginning, my thoughts then and my thoughts now obviously are different. I've had lots of therapy about it, to kind of work through it myself. But at the time, I didn't want anyone to know what Tylee had done to JJ, and I wanted to continue to protect Tylee as her mother, who has been trying to protect her whole life. Like, this is my scenario, Colby. What if Tylee holding JJ down for too long, trying to get him to not scream and leave loud in the apartment, which she was always upset about. We weren't in a big house anymore. We were in these tiny little apartments, and he was loud. And what if she held him down too long and realized afterwards what she had done? What if she had come running to me and told me what she had done, right? That it was an accident? Do you not think that I would have told police that I did it to save Tylee? Because you know that I would have. I would have done anything.
No, it's the other way around. You did do it, and
at that time, and some people might think it's not rational, but I wasn't rational at that time, because you can't imagine what it's like to find your children in that way. You can't imagine. So no, I was not being rational. However, I was still protecting Tylee in my mind, and I still am. This is why I only wanted to tell you privately. I didn't want to tell the world what went on. I don't want to tell the world that Tylee stopped taking her medication 2 weeks before, that she was on anti-anxiety medication, anti-depression medication. She was on a medication for panic attacks, and she was on birth control, so her ovarian cyst wouldn't be bad. She was on all that stuff. And when we moved up to Idaho, 2 weeks before, a week after we got there, she said she didn't want to take her meds anymore. And I said, honey, you can't go off meds cold turkey. You can't just you have to wean off of them. And you know how she was, and you know how stubborn she was, and you know how she would do anything that I told her to do, and she would do the opposite. So no, I haven't wanted to tell everybody, and nobody could even understand how it could get to this point unless they understood what had happened to Tylee since she was 3 years old. So yes, I have been protecting Tylee. I will continue to protect Tylee. I didn't want this to be made public. I didn't testify in court for that purpose.
To protect her
name. They could put me in here for 5 lifetimes. They could put me in here for 1 million lifetimes. It doesn't matter to me.
So I just want to understand, because this is what I asked you before. You're telling me that all of this is to protect my sister's name because of what she did. Is that what you're telling me?
In my mind, yes.
Okay. I think it's hard because I've come to know the prosecutors myself. I've looked at a lot of the evidence. There was nothing left of my sister to even really look at, because somebody was so brutal with her. Somebody was so sick with her after she was taken.
I can't hear you, Colby. It's cutting out.
I said that
I can't really hear anything you're saying.
I said that it was. I've talked to the prosecutors. I've looked at a lot of what they've shown me, and Tylee was so brutally mistreated after her death that it wasn't even human. It wasn't even humans.
Well, I'll tell you something about what I know about the minute, and because of my own experience of being outside of my body, right? You could care less what happens to your body after you die. I could care less.
Okay, hold on.
And I know people on Earth are really worried about it.
I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry.
I get it.
I don't want to know.
I did not intend for that to be done to
It's
her.
the most brutal
I did
thing
not
I've
know
ever heard in
that
my
was
life.
being done to her.
It's the most brutal thing I've ever heard in my life. So I don't want to go over that. Really.
Me either.
JJ.
I want to think about that.
JJ was
They
found.
were not in there, Colby. They were not in there, is what I'm telling you.
But I'm telling
So no
you.
matter what happens to you when you're at a coroner's office and they cut you open and do an autopsy,
Okay.
yeah, that's really gross. It's
No,
really
that's not
gross
what
when
I'm
they do that to
talking
anybody.
That's not what I'm talking about. But with JJ,
You're not in there.
JJ was found fighting his bag that he was put in. So did Tylee held him down too long or put a bag over his head? Because that was the evidence that JJ was being suffocated by somebody. That was
Okay, so that is not the case. So when I found those my little precious babies, there was no bag, there was no tape,
okay, so
there's
they're just both
nothing
dead.
of that. They were just gone.
Hey, Legs. Hey, DC. We're praying for you, honey. You do what you got to do. We're here. Right, exactly right. What Jerry said, we're here.
Anything that was done was after the fact, long after the fact. They were not in there.
Okay. So that brings me to a question here. With all of this being said, what has it been like for you?
Sorry, you're cutting out.
Okay.
I didn't hear you because I
I said-
just cut out.
What has it been like for you then since 2020? How have you been affected by all this? Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, you didn't hear that?
I said,
No, I didn't hear that. Only part of it.
since that's what you're going to say, how have you been affected since 2020? How has this affected you?
How have I not been affected? It's my whole life. Like, I was never going to tell anybody anything about anything ever.
Okay, so you would have never told me. You would have never told
But
me.
when I was at the
You would have never
well,
told
you're
me.
the only person I wanted to tell you, and you're the only person I wanted to tell, and I wanted that to be privately.
Okay, well,
The only person I deserve to know.
that can't just be something private, Mom. That's not something you can just tell me that I would just be accepting and understanding of. You have to understand that. I would never agree with you. I would never bury my siblings in some random dude's backyard and act like it never happened. I would never let that happen. I would have, even if that's what happened, which I'm going to be honest with you, I hope you can understand, because I wanted to be respectful enough to listen to what you said. I've really tried to listen and study what you've said, and based off of everything that I've been shown, that they were both murdered, and that's what you said didn't happen. So I think that we're not going to get anywhere there. I think that's just, I wanted to hear what you had to say, because you said you were there, and you said that those were your children, and those were my siblings, but I can't sit here and say that I agree with you at all. I don't think that's what happened. No, it's just not what I think happened based off
When we all
of
get to heaven, you'll know.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you anything different. You
Right,
don't know.
no.
And I can't tell anybody different. And I don't care what anybody thinks, really. Like, they weren't there and they don't know. So
Okay. Well, that's what you meant then on that phone call.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You told me on that phone call that I would know, and you said they don't know, and I definitely listened to that phone call again, because I was so hurt, because it sounded like you were just giving me a middle finger, and you said F you.
I wasn't, honey. I wanted to tell you. The attorneys told me, don't say anything on a jail call. Nothing. Don't ever say anything. They pound that into you, from day one. Like, so you're asking me, and I'm like, I can't tell you on this phone call, but I want to tell you. You're the only person I wanted to tell, because I wanted you to be able to grieve, and I wanted you to be able to mourn, and I wanted you to be able to tell the difference between what they're seeing actually happen and that you would know privately.
No, that actually does sound good to me too, DC. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad. You're a smart girl. Wow, sorry. You're a good girl. You're a smart girl. You know what you're doing. I'm so proud of you.
What really happened. Let them saying whatever they want. Who cares? It's gone way out of proportion. But I wanted you to have that for your own peace. That's it. For your own peace of mind. You know Tyler better than anybody on earth except for me. You did. You lived it with me.
So can I ask you another question then? Obviously, I have a million. I'm trying to keep this very, really to the point of the things. I think that I've noticed you say you have a lot of these enemies, and that you have believed to be a very big usher into the second coming and Jesus and all these things. So I'm wondering, do you feel that you are this person who's lived multiple lives and is here to do this thing to usher in Jesus is coming? Is that what all of this hardship on your part is? Is that why you think you're going through so much hardship? Is that you are that person?
Well, what do you remember of me telling you about my experiences in the temple? I told you personally. I only told a few people.
Yeah, she goes off into something else very sick here very soon. I will say, I'm not somebody, you guys know I don't ever ask for money at all. I never will. That's not my thing. I will say DC has been here with us from the very beginning. She is in North Carolina, and she's gone through major devastation. And as everybody knows, you can't trust, you can't give anywhere really. I mean, to me, it's hard to trust anybody to donate to, and it's hard to trust even if whoever you give it to is legitimate these days with the government pulling their shit. So I just will say, just because DC, will you put your links in here just in case anybody wants to, give anything to her? And I'm not you guys know that I'm not that person. I've never asked for anything. But if anybody would like to help DC, since the floods, they've had more tragedy in their family. Unrelated to the floods, actually. I know. When it rains, it pours, right? So, DC, will you put those links in here just in case? Again, don't anybody think that I'm trying to push anything. But I know some people would like to help out a little bit. And please, prayers, absolutely. 100% for everybody that has been affected by this crazy weather. Anyone, everyone. And prayers are always needed. Absolutely always. Hey, Diamond, good to see you. Hey, Van Life. That thing is yet again trying to... I know. She sure is. And you know what? You're right. This is almost like, pouring salt on the wound. Like, she just can't do enough to this kid, right? Well, Diamond, that's what the thing is, it's whenever they come to her, they come to her still and talk to her, even so does, even Tammy Vallow has come to her, or Tammy Daybell. She's a sick bitch. She is sick. Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's a great idea. DC, yeah, that's a really good idea if you would do that. Thank you, freaking. Yes, thank you for that. Exactly right. Yes, exactly, freaking. Yeah, DC, do you hear this? Thank you so much, freaking. Absolutely. She really knows how to dig she does. Frazzled. I know. Like, how can you? And you can tell on his face. He's like, you could see it on his face. He's like, Tylee did this? Really? Oh my. I didn't see that coming. I did not. I thought we were just going to stick with Alex. That's what I thought.
Personally, and they've gone running wild with these stories. So I'm asking you what you remember, what I told you personally.
All I remember is your biggest claim is that you had seen Jesus personally, and that he had talked to you, and that he was on your side. That was it. That's what I really remember. I mean, you did tell me about the whole multiple lives thing, but that's about the basis of what I remember you telling me.
Right. And where did I tell you where that experience happened?
Yeah, you said you're in the temple. That's what
I will put it in. Let me look it up.
So
I'm not real savvy on this stuff,
I
guys.
learned all these things that I know from Jesus personally. So when he came to me in the temple and he put his hands on my head and ordained me to do something for him, like a job, right? And he said, will you do this job if you lose everything? This was in 2017. And then he said, will you do this job if you become like Job? That's what he asked me. And at the time, when he was right there with me, and
Can you believe that? If you become like Job. What? Don't even go. Don't even go there. She is sick. That one burns me up.
have those wonderful, heavenly, peaceful feelings, I thought, sure, I'll do anything you want me to. I'll go to the ends of the earth. I'll follow you to the ends of the earth like Peter. And then you walk into that scene and you're on the ground like Peter. Like, what is this about? What do you mean? It was everything. I lost everyone, and including you, which was really the hardest loss of all to me, because you were my best friend for 24 years. And losing you over the past 4 years was harder on me than even losing the kids. But he asked me to do a job for him. Mm-hmm. And I said that I could, and he said it was going to be terrible. Now I'll tell you this. Okay. When you have a visit from Jesus, a personal visit, right, then because there is opposition in all things, you will have a personal visit from Lucifer. Okay. So weeks after I had this visit with Jesus in the temple, I was in JJ's room at the big house where you got married. Okay. And Lucifer was standing right in front of me. Okay. And he said to me, I know who you are. I know exactly who you are, and I will stop you. Okay? So Jesus gave me a job. Okay.
Hey, Survivor.
Lucifer has done every single thing to get me to take my own life, because that is his goal. If I leave here, I cannot do my job for Jesus, right? The only thing I have to do for Jesus is stay here, right? He needs me here to help people. Right. Now, there's eight women in my pod right now facing the death penalty. Uh-huh. Okay, 8 women in this little jail. I help them every day. Okay. I help them doing their workouts. I help them doing all these things. I help them with their cases. Uh-huh. Whether Jesus needs me to help him and serve him in primary or in prison, he asked me to do this for him. Now, the media flood that has come against me, right? The media flood that has come against me is from Lucifer, right? He does not want this job done. He does not want me to help these women. He does not want me to uplift them and strengthen them and help them hold on until he comes again to rescue us all.
I'm looking for the other one I have too.
Okay. So he wants me here. Okay. And he's taken everything away from me, like he took away from Job. The only thing wasn't allowed to do to Job is what?
Kill him.
He wasn't allowed to kill Job himself, right? Yep. But he was allowed to do everything to make Job want to kill himself, right? Everything. Right. So it is a personal attack on my family because Jesus asked me to do a job for him. Okay. So that is my belief that he has taken every single thing I've ever said and twisted it. He's taken every truth and turned it into a lie, taken every lie and turned it into a truth. So, yes, that is what I feel like is happening.
Okay.
I will continue to do my job, whether I have your support or not, although I would love that. And one day, everyone will know that that is true and that that's what happened.
I hope you.
Yeah, so she's Job.
Listen to what I have to say as well.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've done a lot of praying. I've dreamed dreams of me delivering you from demons. I've in those dreams every time I yelled at you and we screamed, and then I would perform a deliverance on you, and I would call things out of you. I do not share your beliefs, and this is after a lot of pondering and praying on my own. After everything happened, I started to read the New Testament, and I wanted to trust you before I found out. I wanted to believe that Kylie and JJ were walking around somewhere, maybe in a barn. I don't know. I couldn't understand what you were doing. And I tried to just keep saying, you know what? I'm going to trust my mom. I'm going to trust my mom. I'm going to trust my mom. When I found out what happened and I started to see everything, I gave you a call. And in that call, it was very confrontational, but I felt like I wasn't judging you. And a lot of times you said I was judging you and you think that I was with everybody else and I'm like the media. And I'm glad that I called you now because I have my head on straight. And I can tell you that after a very long time of listening to what has been in the documents, these are the things they recovered from you and from Chad and these things, it doesn't make sense to me. And none of it is biblically based. And I know you have a different viewpoint, but you and I are on completely two different, I mean, it's black and white. It's that different. And a part of me struggled for a very long time to try to remember the person you were before all this and try to remember that you did care so much and it felt like you loved us and you tried to protect us and you were just a different person. And I understand that you believe that these are the things, and you know what? We're not even going to have an argument about that because there's no point. There's not going to be me sitting here telling you this isn't this, but I will tell you fundamentally and 100% after praying a lot about it and everything over the last few years, I do not agree with what you believe. And I don't think that.
Yeah, but you don't even know exactly what I do believe, honey. Like, you're saying that because you're going with what everybody else has said I believe, but those are not my actual beliefs.
Right, but believing that someone is a zombie or I know you said you didn't say that.
That's not my belief.
But believing that.
That is not my belief.
Believing that, I mean, even with what happened with Chad, you know, I thought that all these things were happening and all this time you were talking to him. And then, you know, I was mad at my dad and I stopped talking to him because I was mad because I thought he hurt you, but you were talking to Chad too. That's not right. And those things aren't right. And I don't know everything. Like I told you, I'm not arrogant to sit here and say I know everything. And I wanted to give you the platform to say your piece. But my piece is this as well. I do know you. And none of this is congruent to the person that raised me. None of it. Nothing.
When did I change? I would like to know when you thought that this miraculous after 50 years of being a wonderful mother that I turned into this horrible person. Like, when do you think that happened?
Can I be honest with you? I think you were beyond deceived. I think spiritually you were horribly deceived by a man who
Do you
saw.
think that standing in the same room with Jesus Christ, that he deceived me, that I could be deceived after being in the room with Jesus? Do you think that I could personally be deceived?
I don't think that this is a commission of Christ. And I'm sorry to tell you that, but I want you to know that because I want this to be.
It's a commission of Lucifer trying to make my life miserable. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's not from Christ. Christ lets
Job.
things happen and strengthens you through it when he attacks you. This is not done from Jesus. This is Lucifer attacking our lives, my life, and including your life because you are my child. So you have also been attacked, and I am very sorry for that. There's nothing I can do. I leave it in Jesus' hands to handle it because he is strengthening us through this attack. It's just like he let it all happen to Job. Why did he let Job get to that point and suffer so much? Why did he have every single thing taken away from him? Why? Why did he let all those things happen? He has a purpose.
Right.
And he told me, this is what Jesus told me 20 days before I was arrested in Hawaii. Jesus came to me, and he has several times since I've been in jail, but he came to me 20 days before I was arrested, and he said this, Lori, there is a purpose for your whole life. It is my purpose, so trust it. What do you think I thought at that time? They were talking about arresting me, and I knew I hadn't hurt anybody. I knew I never would hurt anybody. But So I didn't think I was going to get this. And he's going to make it known to the world what his purpose is in his due time. Whatever he feels like doing that, you will know. And I want you to know right now that nothing is more important to me than you. I love you. I've always loved you and cherish our relationship as eternal. I understand you being upset with me. I get it 100%. I don't blame you. But I want you to know that no matter what you've ever said about me or done or said on the media or anything negative, I forgive you. I don't hold it against you. I love you. I understand completely. And you will know one day, Colby, and you know. And that's all I can tell you. I love you more than anything. I miss being a part of your life and my grandchildren's life. I know why you're probably doing that, but we have an eternal relationship, you know. Ava came to me the night before she was born. I didn't even know that Chelsea was due with the baby. And she came to me the night before she was born. And I held her as baby in the spirit world. And she told me that we had loved each other for eons of time. And that she loved me so much. And the joy that filled me when I held that little baby filled me. Colby, she came to me because she knew that you wouldn't let me see her and you wouldn't let me talk to her, but she said our relationship is eternal and she loved me and I'm her grandma whether you like it or not. She said, I'm your grandma whether my parents like it or not. And so there is a purpose in all this, and I'm sorry it's been hard on you, honey. I love you so much, and I'm sorry this has been awful. I prayed for you every minute. I was crying in church one day, and I was sitting there crying about you, and I was worried about you. And Jesus came next to me, and he said, why
exactly right, Frazzle. Yep.
And I said, you know why? I'm worried about Colby. I love Colby so much. And he said, you love him. Let me lead him. I've got this. I've got him. I know him like I know you. So I have left you in his capable hands, and I know he has taught you. And I'm sorry if he hasn't given you comfort where I am concerned, and maybe it's not time yet, but he will. I promise you, he will. And you'll all see, and everyone will know. But I want you to know how much I love you. I've always loved you, and I love those babies, all of them. And I'm sorry that you feel like you have to keep them from me. I would love to have a relationship with you and with them, but you would have to do what you have to do. But I promise you, you will know that all of this is his purpose.
Okay. I'd like to give you my piece as well, because I don't know how much longer this is going to go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay.
It was cutting out.
I wish more than anything that I had my family. I prayed and was so grateful when my daughter's being born, Riley, that she was going to have a family and aunts and uncles and grandparents on both sides and people that love and support her. And then one day, everybody was gone and everything was gone. I also turned to Christ, but I believe that Christ was preparing me for what was going to happen. And you and I do not see eye to eye at all when it comes to belief in Jesus. We don't. I don't believe, and I've really searched. I didn't just make a conclusion. I'm not someone that does that. I really take my time. And I took my time. I read the New Testament. I read Revelations. And nothing that I've seen is godly or connected to God. And people can say what they want to say. I always dig deeper. I know I'm not going to take someone's word for something. I'm going to go try to dig deeper and find things out.
I agree.
Based off of what I knew about you. And none of it ever added up. And you used to ask me on the phone if I would have received information or clarification or something of that nature, and I never did. And then all my dreams following that were dreams of me either delivering you from demons or me yelling at you at the top of my lungs. And you were not the same in my dreams, and you were not the same person. And I had to accept the fact that I lost my mom too. I had to accept that. But with that being said, with you being there, I need to tell you this. You did raise me. You took care of me, you took care of my needs. You tried to protect me the best you could. And I'm grateful for what you did for me when I was a child. But I will tell you this situation does put us at odds. And I can't sit here and say that I agree with you. I can't even really understand where this side's coming from. I don't wish pain or anything on you. I have no malice towards you. Zero. But I do want you to find comfort.
You don't have malice towards anyone.
No, and I won't. And I do 100% forgive you. I forgive you. And I'm not going to hold you in a jail cell of my heart, but you cannot be a part of my children's lives. And I think you need to understand why. Because you and I can't even be a part of each other's lives. Because I don't feel like I know you anymore. And I don't want to hurt you by telling you that, but I don't want to lead you on.
Well, how is that forgiveness? How is that
Forgiveness is a choice of forgiving. It doesn't mean you keep going. It doesn't mean that. And if you and I are this different on our beliefs of what happened to my family, then how could we ever even conversate? I can't sit here and pretend like this isn't what it is. And I hate all of it. And I hate that you are still suffering in some way. But at the same time, I understand it. You and I do not agree. And I can't say, even listening to you, I don't feel that conviction in my heart that that's what happened, but that's what you think happens. That's what you say happens. And you know what? I wasn't there, but I know what I feel. And I have my own spiritual intelligence, and I have my own ability to search and ponder. And I guess this leads us to a place where all I can ever know is that I will find out one day in heaven, and that's all I could ever say about it, because you and I cannot agree on these things. I do not wish harm on you. I saw you in that courtroom, and I wish I could have talked to my mom. I wish I had my mom there. I wish I had my brother and my sister to look at all my kids. I wish my dad was here and being a part of it. I wish my family was here, and they're not. And you're gone too. And that hurts. It hurts. But I want you to know I don't have a harmful bone in my body towards you. I am mad and I'm upset. But this is something you and I cannot agree on. And I need to set that base now. We do not agree on that.
Exactly right.
I want to make sure that somehow, some way, you're not stuck in this place forever. Because I don't know what you think. People have said that you have a delusional disorder of hyper-religiosity. And you know what?
Because if you tell anybody you had a visit from Jesus, that's what they say. That's what psychological world says. But I am not crazy. I never was. When I was at the hospital, I met lots of people who were. And I wouldn't call them crazy, but they have mental disorders. And I do not.
Okay.
Same thing about all the prophets who said they saw Jesus. They said, well, and they met.
I think she's right. I don't think that she has, it's not a mental problem. It's evil. Because sadly, I believe firmly that she had something to do with deaths before she even met Man Tits. They're both sick and disgusting and absolutely
Like, well, if he came to you, why doesn't he come to me? Why doesn't he come and tell me this stuff, right? It's the Sadducees and the Pharisees. It's all of that. So what I'm upset about hearing your statement is that it's the first time I realized, and I'm sorry for you, honey, because I love you so much, but it's the first time I realized that when Jesus asked me to be like Job, that you're also having to be like him, because I know you lost everything and all at once. But you have your wife, you have your beautiful children, you have your life still. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that you have a support system with Kelsey and her family. I'm grateful that you have that. I'm grateful that the kids have that. And this is my mission, and my mission will be revealed to everybody at some point, and including you. And at that time, I just want you to know, I'm not going to say I told you so. I'm just going to say I love you.
I want you to know that I did conduct this obviously like an interview, and I want you to know that I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this, but I want you to know that my plan was to have this conversation and give you this piece for the public at some point, and that's what I want you to know. So that is the plan, for you to have said what you've never got to say publicly.
I wanted you to know how much I love you, and whether you reciprocate that or not. I mean, I know you love me, but whether you want to have a relationship with me or not, you know, that's up to you. That's 100%. So I respect all of your wishes. I know you're a grown man now and you can make your own decisions, but I would ask you to pray about, I would ask you to help Jesus tell you the suffering that has been for me in the past 5 years, so that you will know that there's nothing that I could have done different that would have had a different result for you to lose everyone. There's nothing I could have done to complete my mission. And there's a totally different attitude in heaven than there is here, because they realize this is just a short time and it's temporary. The things that we do there are eternal and have eternal importance. But your relationship with me is eternal. So that's the only reason I would ask you to even pray about that, Colby. All I ever wanted for you is to have peace about it. I know you lost everybody. I'm sorry that you did. It was not my choice, and it was not what I wanted for you at all. I wanted the same thing for the kids. I wanted everybody to be happy, but that's not what this life is about, apparently. It's certainly not what Job's life was about. But in the end, when they give Job, they give him everything back and more. So we'll see how Jesus wants to handle that.
He does,
that's going to be, but he did come to me on
he's
February
much better.
In this jail
But
this
yeah,
year, and he said
a lifetime.
things to me, and he told me to write them down. And when I wrote them down, he said, one of the things he told me.
I think the phone calls were spotty. Phone calls were really spotty. She was trying to see if she was going to call back. I feel like we didn't really end it. My raw reaction right now is I just spoke to my mother for the first time in 4 years. And I feel like that was the hardest I've ever fought to not respond. I made a decision in the beginning, before I interviewed her, that I would not try to rebuttal her. And the reason being is there's no point. It would have been just a defense mechanism thrown out. There would have been no conversation. It would have been chaos, and it wouldn't have been a conversation. I can't tell you how shocking that is. I don't think I'll ever have an interview with someone that was harder than that. I'll tell you that right now. I would have rebutted everything that she said. I'm still shaky and emotional. I'm just going to give this to you guys really raw, because this is what we need in life, is more of real stuff, not just edited and cut. That was the really hard conversation. She's so convicted of her truth and her reality. She truly believes what she says. She begged to be in my life. It's so hard, bro, because she's, that's your mom. You just want to trust someone. You want to love them. You can't do it. I can't explain it to her the way I wish I could. Of course, I want my mom to be a part of my life. Of course, I miss my family. But, that can't happen. That can't happen, man. Her belief is so far off. I didn't even get to really ask the questions I had for her. It just turned into a conversation. I was very organized before, tried to keep it very clear, and it just didn't work out that way. This is one of the hardest things I've had to do, is have that conversation. My sister did not kill my brother. She didn't. Put it on her. It's so unfair. It's so unfair to Tylee. She would never do that. I don't care how mad she was, how upset she was, how hurt she was, and she was being put through hell, being moved around, and after everything that happened with my dad, she didn't have a chance to breathe. And to blame her. It's the world. It's the time's fault. Yeah. All right, let me pull myself together here. This isn't Tyler's fault. She didn't do that. She didn't hurt JJ. She didn't do that. So that's not the truth. That's not the truth. And I guess I have to accept how delusional my mom is. This is not real. There's no even slight evidence that Tylee did that. And it just hurts to blame her after she was brutally taken. Who knows exactly how. JJ was taken, Tammy was taken, Charles was taken. They were taken. It wasn't an accident. I'm gonna have to process this, obviously. Yeah, I didn't get to say goodbye to her. I feel like I said my piece. You heard what she had to say, so that's about it. I'm a mess right now. But I'm not gonna let that be the narrative. Tylee didn't do that. But I didn't rebuttal her because I knew it wouldn't go anywhere. I tried that. I was very confrontational with her, and I just got doors in my face. I knew I had to come in and just ask questions. Not come in with an angle. Not just say my piece to the end. I feel like she heard what I had to say. So this was the heaviest thing I've ever done. Thank you guys for watching this. This is not easy to share. But I say that right now because I'm feeling the gravity of this. I'm feeling the gravity of this fully. So I just want to say thank you guys for supporting me, my family, and I did my best. I did my best to talk to her. So, anyway, thank you guys. I love you. I love you.
Thank you, Boots. Yes, everybody, please sub to his channel, and you can see through this time period all the changes. You know, he has worked very hard. It is heartbreaking. Oh, and I don't know why probably because he lives like in the same town that I do. Like, I don't know. Like, I just have wanted to adopt him and say, he literally lost everybody. Everyone. And he's really trying to, you can see he's trying so hard. Absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, you definitely want to hug him. You just want to say, I'm just sick. That's right. I hope not too, Boots. I really do. You know, what was really good for him, and he spoke about it, that when he went for the sentencing, because anytime, he testified in Chad's trial, he testified in his mom's trial, and he would just go into town and leave immediately. When he went for sentencing, his wife was with him, and after the sentencing, he stuck around and he spoke to Tammy's family. He spoke to, Larry and Kay Woodcock. He spoke to, I think for sure, Lauren Matthias from Hidden True Crime. He spent some time with these people, and so he went live from his hotel room and was so taken in by how good everyone treated him. I don't know if he felt, that people would have a problem with him or something. I don't know, but he was so taken in by the love he felt from all these people. And you could tell that from then he's kind of, it's just helped him a lot. I don't know. I never would have thought that he thought people blamed him, but maybe people have. And actually, I do know, I don't agree with Annie Cushing on a lot of things that she says. I understand she's coming from a very hurt place herself. She has every right to. To me, she's been very hard on Colby because, she would say things like, well, or she still does, as far as I know. I quit listening to her. I just can't get around that. But, that his mom had sent him some money and had done this and that for him. Well, he was a child, first of all, and he didn't know his siblings were gone. Who thinks that? And besides, I think right now I believe, oh my goodness, he might be 27, 28 right now. He was absolutely a child. And I don't see how he can be seen as anything other than a victim of this whole mess. But he does seem to be doing much better. And I just want everybody to pray for him all the time. I always say this. during these trials, everything, I always say, please remember Colby. It's just, and then listening to that, oh my God. Yeah, I watched that the other day and oh my goodness. Like Mama's the boss said, I just cried and cried and cried. Like, hey, try me. Yes, everybody always please say a prayer for him. And that was really strong to get through that. And can you imagine I think he really wanted her to say something that he could hold on to. I mean, she went so wow. Like, I really believe the whole time they would just continue to just blame Alex for everything. I never saw her coming out and blaming Tylee. I just didn't. Unbelievable. So yeah, that's the first time she has spoke since. I mean, other than her, you know what she said at sentencing, that crap, which he does on his channel. He does analyze what she says in her sentencing. You know, Tammy, her friend Tammy Daybell. I mean, that's stop it. But she's never spoke to media or anything at all. So this is the first time she's speaking, and this is going to be part of his healing too. All of it is, and thank God he is trusting in the Lord, and that's where he's getting his strength and his guidance. I wonder, frazzled. Oh my goodness! Wow. I hadn't thought of that. Wow. Yeah, because that's so crazy. Why didn't she just go with that? Like, I mean, what did Tylee do that to everyone? I guess probably what she's doing is she's rolling with what they said originally at, with Charles. Especially she's her trial for Charles starts in February. She got to. I assume she's going to stick with that was all a self defense. Hello, Maureen. Yes, poor boy, 100. Yes. Hello, Wendy. Thanks. Going to take about 3.5 hours, so I'll let you all know when I make. Please do, DC. I put your Cash App in here, but every freaking was asking if you would put a wish list, and she'll share it on her channel too. Yeah, if you would get a wish list made. What she said also, DC, even for some of your neighbors that need stuff, there's no shortage of people needing. I know. Oh, something I don't know if I talked to you guys about this, but thank you so much. But absolutely. Yeah, if you will get that, then I'll put it up on a community post, DC. She does. When I looked at that, Gabi, to me, I can't quite tell. It looks like I might be doxing her. I don't really feel comfortable with that. But you know what? You guys know I'm not really down with these kinds of things. So I'm gonna check on that, Gabi, to make sure that I'm not saying something I shouldn't say. Does that make sense? Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I don't want to be the one, right? And you know me, I have to watch myself because I just don't um exactly. That's why I when I saw what I have, it didn't look like. No, I understand. No, I know. I know. I want to help, but that's not. I want to make sure I'm not doing something bad. And I mean, I just try really hard to not do this because, just like you guys know, we spend a lot of time with Queen and her family, and when her husband calls her by her name, I kind of feel like that's not her. And so I always call her Queen, and she's like, "You don't have to call me Queen." And I'm like, "No, because I'll accidentally say it somewhere else. You, I can't be trusted with shit like that." Hey, Hondo, I don't. Whoever missed that should probably go and watch it again. It was very emotional, very moving, a lot. Oh, I didn't. I missed your first comment, Hondo. To Mr. Snotty, that's right. Yeah, I'll try to put up everything that's not doing anything bad. Okay, what did somebody tell me here? Venmo does have your real name. Yes. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, I was going to say I thought maybe it said it does not. Right, right. That you're exactly right, Mama's the boss. Yep. It was heartbreaking. It was good to see his healing. Yes, and I just hope everybody will sub to his channel and always pray for him. Just hurts my heart so bad. And can you believe she compares herself to Job? Get out of here right now with that. You sick. Ugh, really. And it is gross that she does all this and acting like, you know, Jesus is telling her all this. I don't think it's delusional. It's her way of pretending, of justifying what she did. That's what I think. She's trying to justify what she did because there is nothing about that is godly, not one single bit of it. And I have always believed, and I continue to believe, that her or Chad, neither one believe what they say. They know better. I've never felt that they believe what they spew because they did not do anything that they said they were. I mean, took off to Hawaii. See, what did that have to do with what they were doing? Oh, I will, Hondo. I will. I usually see her every Wednesday. Our grandson plays football, and her and Mr. Queen come to the games every week, but there's no game this week, so I may not see her. Uh, And me here during the day, um, Jack is spending the week with his auntie, so I was able to come live during the day, and we're doing some stuff around the house. So I was figured when Mr. Snotty gets off work, we can do it together. Yes. Exactly. Oh, I don't know how you keep back the anger. I don't. Like, I mean, can you imagine, like, like that one conversation, that one phone call that they played during the trial where she and he's like, "Mom, they killed my mom or my brother, my sister, my dad." Like, I mean, it's gut-wrenching. Go to high school football games when he oh my, I love high school football. I do. Yep. Queen does too. I miss when the kids were um, in sports when they were little, and definitely when my son and nephew and all of them played football in high school. I love that. Our whole family would go. My brother would get there early and put down blankets and all this stuff. Be a whole crew of us. And this is freshman, so just getting it started. It is. It's so fun. They were undefeated. They lost last week. And even Queen said, I think they kind of needed to lose a game to get grounded. They weren't shut out or anything, but that other team is really good, really good. And I mean, all of them, they win at every sport. They do really, really good. And he is the biggest kid on the team. I'm telling you, you don't even have to know his number. You can pick him out. He's the biggest kid out there. But what's really cool, he has my son's same number from high school. I love stuff like that. He's a freshman. Oh wow, that's good too. Wow. Hey artist, did you see that? I understand that, GT, but I also have to do that for fair use. I don't have a choice in that. I have to provide commentary on it. And I did put the link, and you can go to his channel and watch it, the full thing. I encourage that. I've encouraged it the whole time. I've got his channel across the ticker. I put it in the comments. I agree 100%. Oh, he has a pretty crazy surgery that you had. Yeah, artists, you got to go to Colby Ryan's page. He spoke to his mother. I don't know if you've watched that yet, but what she says is so gross. It's horrible. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, I think Boots is recovering pretty well, but it is a lot. I think it's a while. I can't get out of my head the pictures that you sent me, Boots. Seriously. It looks painful as hell. No, I wasn't at any time trying to be disrespectful to Colby. In fact, I absolutely love that kid to death. And my heart hurts for him all the time. Bionic. Oh my goodness. Now there's the pain, huh, Boots? Oh my God. Yikes. I can't imagine. Wow. Well, that's probably what you should do then is leave. I mean, I don't know what to say. My constant chatter. What would I be doing? Right? Deuces. Wow. Definitely. I'm more than good with that. Right, right. Try me. Uh, I know, right? Seriously, I don't even know what to say about that. My constant chatter. That's so funny. I think it'd be really weird if I just sat here and said nothing, especially I'm not even playing a video right now. But again, that's the way, that's the rules. So you don't have to like it. You definitely do not have to listen to my chatter at all. That's funny. I was going to say, if I just sat here and said nothing, it would be a little bit weird. Oh, you guys cracked me up. Hey, Queen. Stupid bitches coming, right? I don't know what the hell. Uh, So you run along. You run along. Yeah, Andrew Hondo said to tell you hi, Queen. And here you are. What Jerry said. That always cracks me up that I just really just go ahead and leave. But that's okay. Uh, I know. And I'm very good at you know, ADHD, right? Just like, oh wow, what's that? I'm really good at that freaking uh, that's funny when I can be. Yeah, I know, and I appreciate that, Hondo. You know what? I am in and out of people's. I rarely I pretty much never chat. But again, like I've told you guys, only time I sit at my computer is whenever I'm going live. Almost never do I. So it's I just don't do it on the phone, but I'm in and out of chats here and there. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not. I don't. I don't even know that person. I don't think I do. It's okay. Overcooked my baby shower candles. Oh my god. No, don't even worry. Who cares? Well, you never know. Sometimes I just really go off, and I when you've had a few. Well, thanks. That's funny. Well, oh, I got to tell you guys, I'm really, really, tomorrow morning, Queen and I were supposed to be on our way to Savannah. We actually had our whole trip planned. We had our flights booked. Everything was done. And I'm still like now with everything so crazy, I do feel that I made the right decision about not going. But I also am very sick to my stomach that I'm not going. I can't believe Leilani's trial starts tomorrow. And I'm not going to be there. And it's not going to be live. They're not going to stream it. And I will tell you guys this. I reached out to Dolly to see if we could work something out where he could give us some updates. But I haven't heard back from him. Dolly, give a sister a call here. That would be awesome if I could yeah, nobody's going to stream it, but we're just going to look obviously right, Frazzled, for some updates. Right, and well, that's another reason with this weather. I think that it's a good thing we're not going. Still very torn. It was very much a heavy heart for me to cancel that trip. I prayed on that a lot because I always said I was going to be there and I had every intentions of it, and I really can't believe I'm not. I think so, Jerry, and I hate that. You imagine? It'd be so awesome too. Awesome. It's a horrible thing. I want justice for Quentin. I know, Jerry, right? For 2 years, I've known I was going to. I think so. But it's just crazy that it starts tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's here. So my idea is that tomorrow, I think there's a very good chance that tomorrow or even maybe Thursday, they'll have the jury selection will be done. I have a feeling. Oh, I missed that. Yeah, what is your side hustle, Hondo? I don't know how I missed that. Oh, I have been. Yes, I have, Hondo. We talked about it last week too, a lot. And I think there's a lot more to talk about. It's not getting any better. I know yesterday I saw where somebody said FEMA they just parked a bunch of stuff, planes and helicopters and stuff out on a runway or out on a airstrip for them, just so that other people can't get in there. Not because they were not doing anything. It's absolutely the grossest thing. It's heartbreaking, actually. But you can see, the good in people, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm furious with the government. I'm absolutely furious. Yeah, I don't know how they can do it, honestly. I don't. Yeah, and now that's a Cat 5, but did it go down? I was listening to a storm chaser yesterday that sounded like, in his opinion, it was going to go down maybe. But I don't know. It is bad. Are you anywhere near there? That's exactly what they've done, Hondo. They have. They've confiscated donations. You know, and I heard somebody saying, you know, what difference does it make who gets credit for it? That's not the point. It's not about that. It's about them trying to act like they're doing their job. These other people are doing it out of the goodness of their heart. And that's their job, and they're not doing it. Okay, Jerry, that's what I thought. Me too. It's kind of gone back and forth. Yeah. Oh, back up to, okay. Shit. Yeah, I know. When we first really got the confirmation that they were doing that for reals, it was like, wow, how do you feel about this? Like, can't really believe it. They did. Right. Like I said, my opinion is they come up with all the money they want. They use this they use our money to do the devil's work, if you ask me. Wars all over the place, and to me, we're paying for both sides. I mean, what side are we on any war? Because we fund and in my opinion support both sides. So I don't know what the hell that is. It's gross. BRB, are you going to? Oh yeah, there is no game tomorrow. Yeah. Hello, Floor. Exactly, it's our money. Exactly right. And to do harm, use our money to support war in general. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it one bit. Scary times we're living in. Absolutely scary times. In my opinion. So I don't know how many people joined us for the book the other night. Oh, absolutely, Wendy. That's gone right down yeah. It's not, has nothing to do with that. It doesn't. So what I wanted to do is, okay, okay, what I want to do is I want to end this live and come right back. I'm going to go to the restroom, get me some iced tea. I want to come right back and talk about the book too and other stuff. All that dang money we sent to. Exactly right. And not help our own people. See, it's gross. It's gross to me. I don't know how people lay in bed at night knowing what they've done. I don't know how they live with themselves. So, oh, you know what I was going to do too? I think, yeah, I want to talk about the book. I want to talk about the next book we're going to listen to. If anybody missed a book the other night, honestly, I'm telling you, it actually is really good. But we're going to talk about the book. I'm going to end this. I'm going to come right back. I hope you guys will come right back. Flora, I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to get something to drink and go potty. I know we listened to the whole thing at one time, and that was not the plan. But like, Mr. Snotty said, it's not the same as reading a book where you can't put it down. I go, it kind of is. It actually kind of is. We did it on Rumble. Freaking, we did. I know. Good night. Come right back and listen to about the book. I'm telling you, Hondo, you guys, it was so good. Okay, I'm going to end this. I'm going to be right back. Thank you, guys. Everybody, please check out Colby's page, sub up, pay attention, and keep him in your prayers. Please, please, please. Okay, I'll see you in a minute.